Hi, everyone. Hope you're all doing well, and thank you so much for reading AMAL Unbound. My name is Aisha Said. I'm the author of AMAL Unbound, and I am here today to talk to you about your questions that you sent in. Thank you to all the teachers who sent in those amazing questions. I have read all of them. I wish I could go through all of them, but there's well over 100 of them, but I'll get through as many as I can. My first question comes from Miss Broadfoot's class at Winchester Public Schools. JL asked if Amal is based on a real person, and no, Amal is actually not based on a real person. But Miss Pham's class asked, do the people who live in Pakistan face what Amal is facing? And yes, and actually, indentured servitude is something that happens all around the world. And there are people in Pakistan that go through what Amal is facing. Daniel Bagley Elementary School. Sonia asked, why did you choose for Amal to be 12 years old? I actually never set out to write a story where I have decided in advance that the character is going to be this age or that age. As I write, the characters usually tell me how old they're going to be just from the voice that's coming out onto the page. I have a book coming out next year called Bilal Cooks Doll, which is about a 6-year-old boy. And when I set out to write it, I wasn't sure how old the boy was going to be, but as I wrote, I figured it out. And the same with Amal and Bound. Alia at Miss Nelson's class, Bear Branch Intermediate, asked how I chose the characters' names in the book. I get names from all sorts of places. Sometimes that's just the name that came to me as I thought of that particular character. Sometimes I look at the meaning of a name and see if that meaning fits the person and their personality, all sorts of different places. And someone at Countryside Elementary asked, how did I come up with Amal's name? Well, that one, it's really important for me to come up with a good, strong name for the main character, and I really look into the meaning of that name. And for me, I chose Amal because in Arabic, which is a language that many people in Pakistan have Arabic names, and Amal means hope in Arabic. And as you continue to read, you're going to see how much hope that Amal holds on to as she travels through this journey that you're going to read. And so I felt like Amal, meaning hope, was a very fitting name for her as a main character. Meyer and Ella asked at Wildwood School, do I get emotional or stressed while writing books? Sometimes I do. As a writer, I have to get in and dig deep into the emotions of my character so I can get those emotions across to the people who are reading the book. And so, yes, sometimes it does get pretty emotional as I'm writing, but it's worth it because I want to make sure that I do these characters justice and tell their stories the way they need to be told. And if that means that I have to get a little emotional or stressed sometimes, it's worth it. Miss Martin's class in Columbiana, Ohio Leah asked if I had any advice for young writers. My biggest pieces of advice, one is to read. Read as much as you can. That's what I did. When I was your age, I read tons of books. I still read tons of books. That's how I learn. I like to figure out what I liked about a book, what I didn't like about a book, and that teaches me a lot about how to be a writer. And the other thing is to write. Take the time and write and just be creative. Write poetry, write all sorts of things, and see what calls to you as the best medium for you to be a writer. Just try all sorts of things and don't be afraid. um, Mr. Duke and Mr. Kevin's class here in Atlanta Finn asked, does the landlord decide where things go in this village? Yeah, he has a lot of power in that village. I mean, he doesn't control every little thing, but everyone's afraid of him and they often make choices based on their fear of him. So he does have a lot of power. Denzel at Donegal Intermediate asked, "Do I like pomegranates? Is that why I chose it?" Well, I do like pomegranates, but that's not why I chose it. I chose it because it's a very common fruit in Pakistan, but it's also seasonal. So that means when Amal is getting the pomegranate, going to she's not going to have a chance to have another pomegranate again until next year because it was the end of pomegranate season and those were the last two pomegranates remaining, and it was the last one that she had, and that increased her frustration when it was taken away from her. And that's why the pomegranate featured so heavily, because it was a fruit that wasn't going to be around again, which added to her frustration. At Akron Elementary, Kenley asked, what was the purpose of having Mr. Khan so rich in the book? So Khan Saab is very rich and he is very powerful. His his money brought him a lot of power, and he uses his money to lend to people, and then they owe him money, and so the cycle continues. And when we have a lot of money and power, we can use it for good, but we can also use it for evil. And unfortunately, the Khan family uses their power with their money for evil, and so that's why he is rich in the book, to explore the different ways that we can use our money and our power, and sometimes we can use it for bad purposes too. Miss Taylor's class, Jaylana asked what my favorite character trait of Amal is, and my favorite character trait of Amal is her willingness to always keep on hoping, even when things are tough, even when there's every reason to just say, "I give up." She doesn't. And even if she does sometimes maybe give up for a little bit, she always finds her way back. And I think that's such an important trait. It's something that I admire so much about Amal. And I think all of you, when you're going through tough times, I hope you'll think of Amal and how she never gives up hope and how you should never either. And my last question comes from Lucy at Rumsey Hall School, and she asked, "Why are boys more favored than girls in Amal Unbound?" And this is a question I got the most, and I wanted to make sure that I addressed it. So first, I want to be just very clear that all genders are equal. Boys and girls, everybody is equal. And when people don't behave that way, it's wrong. And as you keep reading, you're going to see in chapter 12, Amal talks to her mother about what you all have noticed, because she doesn't like it either. And her mom gives her some answers. And I think that's a great place for teachers and students to have a conversation. What do you think about those answers? Are those good enough answers? I don't think so, personally. And as you keep reading, you're going to see that even in her community, not everyone agrees with this. Omer doesn't agree with it. That's why he's sneaking her books and trying to help her out. And you're going to meet other people in the book who also don't agree with this too. But yes, it's never okay. And it is not right. But one question I think everyone should think about is, in your own communities, are girls and boys treated differently? What ways are they treated differently? I know I've gotten a lot of answers on social media where teachers and students have been discussing how it's different and what we can do to make a difference. And I think those are all very, very worthwhile conversations. So, and finally, just like last week, I want to share the winners of the Skype and the author letter giveaway. I share them at the end of my talk, but I also will reach out to you. So if you don't worry, if you don't reach out to me, I will reach out to you. But the winners for this week's Skype visit with me was, excuse me, there was a bug. Megan Schaller at Gregory School in West Orange, New Jersey. You have won the free Skype visit for the week. And the author letter winner is Ashley Bryant's class at Weddington Hills Elementary in Concord, North Carolina. You have won the author letter for the week. So please reach out to me. My email address is on my website. But if you don't reach out to me, I will be reaching out to you. And thank you again, everyone, so much for engaging with Amal Unbound the way that you have. It has meant so much to me. And please know I'm reading all your tweets, I'm reading all your emails, and I'm enjoying so much following along to all the work that's being done in relation to the Global Read Aloud. So until next week, I look forward to speaking to you then. And in the meantime, teachers, please keep sending your questions and please and keep engaging. I'm loving it. Thank you. Until next week. Bye.